Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I got kind of a conversation, kind of a review of custom scales and parts for knives. This is an interesting topic and something that I kind of lightly touched on in my last review, saying that I was gonna kind of do a review of this, but as some of you may know, I started this channel as a means of kind of just being a person who didn't know much about the knife world, was getting into it. Every knife that I would show on my channel would be increasingly nicer and increasingly more popular. And that was kind of the goal, was just to have a channel that was lower budget, was kind of just getting started, getting the ball rolling. Not knowing much about the knife community. And now I believe, since I've started my channel, it's been 5 years, 6 years. And then, of course, I mean, the big thing is I've been collecting knives since I was 17, and, now I'm, about 23. So it's, it's been a long time. And I've had enough time now to have opinions on things, I feel. And in this case, I really want to discuss why, you beginners who maybe haven't yet dabbled into the custom world, why maybe you should and why maybe you shouldn't. There's a lot of great qualities to it, but at the same time, there are still cons, just like there are to everything. So I do want to discuss that. But before I do, I figured I would show you guys, just some awesome new knives that I've gotten. As you guys can kind of tell on the table, there are custom parts that are brand new this year. This guy here for me from Flytanium, it's the fat carbon, I think it's like the lava fat carbon scales for the PM2. And then this guy here is a custom Lynch deep carry pocket clip. And this one here too is also a Lynch deep carry pocket clip. Very cool stuff. But yeah, I want to get into some of the newer knives now. So I have a Ray Laconico, what am I saying? A Bob Lum Tanto. Since I said that, I feel like I now have to say this because I was looking at this knife when I said that. It's the Prado from CJRB in S90V steel. Full metal handles, the heaviest knife in my collection. Very nice. Love this knife a lot. Back to the Bob Lum designed Lum Tanto. This guy's an M390. They made a coated version not too long ago. I remember seeing it, remember wanting to buy it, but just being like, I don't like coated blades too much, and it's M390. Why is it coated? Go figure, a few years later, they decided to make this guy. I don't even know if it was a full few years. Might have been a year, maybe something like that. I can't even remember now, but yeah, this guy's dope. Uncoated, M390 Bob Lum. Awesome. Did also get a Stretch 2XL. I do have an Endura, so I felt like it was only right to get a Stretch. This guy in the PD number 1, Micro Melt PD number 1, and this really nice wine red or purple. I'm not sure. It could be either or. And a coated blade. Really neat stuff. Going over here, we have a Delica 4. I got this for Christmas. Merry Christmas, by the way, guys. I know I forgot to say that in my last video, but Merry Christmas. Awesome stuff. This guy's dope. Zone green handles. Very nice. VG10, of course. Moving on, we also have a Crewwear Mini Adonis. This has been my only Benchmade pickup of the year, which is insane. And then since we already showed the Prado, here is the Mini Pyrite in D2 and Smooth Polymer. This coming out of CJRB. And Benchmade was a little collab, or not Benchmade, Blade HQ. It was a little collaboration in that cool color. And then finally, the Blade HQ exclusive S45 VN Mordax. I will be reviewing this guy very soon, hopefully, because I absolutely adore this knife, and I already did the Malibu, so it only seems right. All right, getting to knife talk here, talking about custom parts. I want to kind of go from kind of the big stuff maybe, or excuse me, I did that backwards. I want to go over the little stuff first, like accessories, and then going into some of the bigger stuff like handles. So first of all, kind of tackling accessories. I'm going to start kind of light with the 940 Osborne here. This knife is not custom in any way outside of this little piece right here. This isn't even technically a custom clip because it does come from the factory. Now, or doesn't come from the factory, but it comes from Benchmade. You pay about $10 extra and they'll ship this with your knife. I actually think they at one point gave these away for free. I don't know if they still do that, but I have not seen that. I don't know if that's maybe something that you have to subscribe to, or I don't know. These days, you never really know with that stuff. But yeah, no, this clip you can find on certain models, such as the Miniadomus, but for the most part, you have to buy this accessory. So I am going to consider it kind of custom. And this is one of the big things, guys. I hated the 940's original clip, that one that was really ugly, had the really ugly Benchmade written on it. For those of you that watched my review, you kind of already heard this opinion, but this version of the pocket clip is just perfect. I mean, it's one of the best. The only thing that I'm not super psyched about is obviously going to be the non-recessed screws. Those do and have caught up on my pocket before, but honestly, it's not bad at all. It has a good portion for your pocket. It's going to be perfect for jeans. You can wear these in sweats. It's a really nice pocket clip and kind of shows why custom clips are an insane choice, an incredible choice, in fact. And nothing proves that further than the Smock here, also using a custom clip. But this one is a Lynch clip, and you can see the arc is even bigger and even more full, and this thing is so easy to put in and out of the pocket. The Lynch clips are probably the best custom clips on the market currently, and I don't know why it took me so long to get them. I got this one here and this one on the AD 20.5 and S40 or S35 VN. As you guys can see, this one's a little more scratched up. I've been using this knife handsomely. This one still a little clean. I have carried this guy though a number of times these past few weeks, so that just kind of goes to show the finish is plenty tough if you're not using your knife like a jackass like I've been with my S35V and AD 20.5. But yeah, those are a lot of custom clip options, and there are countless custom clip options. I mean, technically, even this guy has a custom clip, even though it is just that Benchmade clip. But that one I actually got, and it was not made by Benchmade. It was made by a secondhand company. But this kind of just goes to show, like, these clips are awesome. This guy really upgraded the spoon clip that this originally came with. I think this guy's got it. You guys can see that there. It's big. It was big. It was bulky. It did not fit the aesthetic at all of the Smock. And honestly, this clip not only feels better on my hand, but it also really fits nice in the pocket. So that was an easy upgrade. Same with the 940 one. It had a really ugly writing on it that was like Benchmade, like super obnoxious. It was a blacked out clip. I don't usually love those kind of clips. And so this is an easy upgrade, and it's deep carry. I kind of prefer deep carry clips on most of my knives, and this guy included 80-20.5 here. It just needed a custom clip, and the Lynch clip was the perfect option. This is the original S35 VN 80-20.5 clip. It really is not great. It's not bad either. I don't want to be rude to it like that, but it's not great. But kind of moving on, we have things like backspacers. Now, I have two knives here that also fit two other categories, or excuse me, three. I don't know why I said two. Both of my AD 20.5s have custom backspacers. But so we have this one here. This one here is from, well, the website literally was Flytanium. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. Flytanium. Yeah, no, they make an awesome backspacer for this guy, and it fits flawlessly. I mean, there are no seams whatsoever. I couldn't believe how perfect this fit into the pocket, or into the knife. But this guy's just awesome, very smooth, very nice on the hand, and gives this guy just a little bit of extra counterweight that honestly just, it upgrades it for me. Gosh, I am losing my mind. This backspacer is honestly a really nice accessory, and like I said, it just really makes a nice balance to the knife, at least for me. And then this guy here, this is my MagnaCut Deca with the custom OG Goat scales. We'll talk about those scales in a bit, but as you guys can see here, we have this really, really nice backspacer, raw aluminum, really is a nice accent to the black. You have the black with the nice gray backspacer. I do like it a lot. It is just aluminum, but it's really, really nice. The fit is really great, just like the AD 20.5. You can see it even has the ridges on the thumb. That's really, really cool, and honestly, I love this backspacer. And then finally, I have barrel spacers, or barrel spacers. I don't know why I was gonna say backspacers, but you guys can see there we have nice little barrel spacers that are honestly really nice on this guy as well. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, this was originally an FRN, so the FRN no longer fit the knife, including the backspacer, so I had to get something a little custom, a little cool. These are titanium, by the way, titanium little barrel spacers, and honestly, it really is quite nice. And with this guy being in 3V, I do want to make sure this is easy to clean to ensure that I don't get any rust or anything on the blade. So having a flow-through construction was just more practical, I guess. And realistically, the counterweight's not as great, but it's not bad. It really isn't bad either. Now we'll move on to the meat and potatoes, the one that I really wanted to talk about, because obviously this is kind of where the custom collecting kind of leads to. Custom scales, you're basically taking half the knife and making it a new knife. That's kind of the crazy thing, for me at least, when I'm doing this. I'm turning this knife that was already pretty good into a knife that's great. And that's the biggest thing with custom scales and custom parts in general. It's to upgrade certain facets of a knife. Obviously, knife makers have to make full knives. They have to make the blade. They have to figure out what heat treatment they want to use. They have to figure out what kind of, steel they want to use, geometry, and there's a million things that just go into the blade. And then you have to focus on the handle, focusing on what kind of material you want, pocket clip, hardware, how much hardware, and then obviously being fully lined, not fully lined. There's so much that goes into just a knife. So obviously with some and most of these handles, they are upgrades, because it takes one facet that a company was only able to focus 25% of their time on and turn it into what they focus on 100%. So that being said, we got some custom scales here from Original Goat that I was just talking about, full aluminum. This is the shark tooth pattern, and this is PVD coated. Really, really a nice coating. It's a little slippy, but that texturing on the shark tooth pattern is good stuff. So like that, you have these two down here. I don't know why I said these two. This guy down here, rather, has custom peel plied textured G10 handles. This is my favorite, kind of variation of the AD 20.5, just because of how awesome this peel ply is. It's soft, but it's also still got quite a bit of grip to it. I like that. I'm going to get OG Goat scales for this guy eventually. I'm thinking I'm going to go with kind of a raw aluminum look. So I think that'll be interesting. I don't really have many knives that have that look to them. So that's going to be one. We have the Griptilian here using scales I got off Etsy and a pocket clip I also got off Etsy. So this is crazy. This knife became so much better. The old handles were so clickety clanky. I mean, the AD 20.5 suffered from the same thing. They were also obnoxiously red, which I hated, but this guy's were not obnoxiously red, but they weren't fully lined. So it had this really loud and obnoxious, like, clink, clink, clink. And it was like, oh my goodness gracious, I never want to open this knife ever. These have such a more rigid feel, a rigid sound, and just overall suit this knife so much better in my opinion. Smooth G10, by the way. I'd give you guys the name of the store, but funny enough, it doesn't exist anymore. So I don't really know. But these are honestly really nice scales. They're heavy, but they're quite nice. Usually for me, weight isn't a big factor, by the way. I feel like I should have said that to begin with, but yeah, weight doesn't really bug me. But here is the Crewwear PM2. This used to have smooth G10 handles. It was the Knife Center exclusive, but these handles are so much better than the Smooth G10. This is the Flytanium Lava Fat Carbon scales, which are just insane, fit this knife perfectly, make it have a really cool aesthetic. I just love it. I love it. And then finally, my all-time favorite custom scales I've ever gotten for a knife. These are the tagged out scales from Rogue Blade Works. I don't even know if they make these anymore. These are kind of older, and they changed the entire aesthetic of the knife. The size, the aesthetic, so much. I mean, these are G10 compared to that normal polymer that you get from knives like the bailout here. But you can see the bailout's also got all this like hollowing and stuff like that. This guy has hollowing, but it's not as intense. So you can really feel the rigidity of the G10, which is awesome. And the biggest thing, they're not bright freaking orange. The bright orange is obnoxious. In case you guys couldn't tell, I didn't like the bright red Grivory on these guys. I definitely don't like the bright orange that was on this guy's plastic scales. They were also Grivory, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, they just sucked. This guy's the CPM 154 tagged out, by the way. I don't know if there's... I think the other version has a thumb stud, but I figured I'd just point that out. This is the lighter weight version. I love the barrel spacers on this guy. Those things are so cool, the orange. And when I knew they were orange, I was like, I gotta get green. I'm like, orange and green would be an interesting combo. And honestly, you guys, it's so cool. And it is a really nice aesthetic, especially on St. Patrick's Day. But that's all the good stuff that I can really say about these custom, parts. They upgrade a facet of the knife that companies only were able to designate small amounts of time for. So that's great, and that shows off a lot of good, but there is still bad, and I think no bad is worse than this right here. This is my Microtech MSI, and let me tell you, it looks incredible. If the look was, anything to do with the function, this guy would be insane, but yeah, unfortunately, that only accounts for a small amount. The looks only account for so much when you actually have to use this guy. These are from a company. I almost didn't want to say the company's name, but I feel like I have to. Votix EDC custom carbon fiber scales. They are, God, guys, they're okay. Okay, here's the thing. I don't want to be too mean, so I'm not. The quality is there, right? The quality's not bad. These are my second pair, by the way. I do have these pairs as well. Let me grab this guy here. These are my other pair. These were bought a number of months ago, I think over a year ago almost now, but we'll talk about those. They're really nice quality, really nice finishing work. The fit and finish is, it's okay. It's really not bad. Here's where the issues come into play. The fit is god-awful. The fit is so... It's so bad. It's just so hard to really put into words. It's just, I'm so frustrated because I paid so much. I paid $100 for these guys. I think right now they're 75, but when I bought them, they were still 100. But you guys see that blade shifting left and right? You can probably hear it. Yeah, this guy has a lot of blade play. As well, these were the first scales I ordered for $100. They didn't have the smooth finish that this guy had, and honestly, I like both. I think I might prefer this more textured variation, but these ones fit even worse. The blade could almost move, like completely long angles with these scales. It was so bad. I took them off. Got these guys a few months later. I'm pretty sure they're handmade, and honestly, they're incredible quality, but I mean, the fit is just so bad, and the fact that I had to send the first ones just to get these that also don't fit, it was frustrating, and that kind of goes to show there's some products out there that aren't going to be up to stuff, and you might have to switch back to the original stuff and might have to keep searching for custom stuff, and that can become pricey. And that being said, these things are not cheap. Obviously, these being all the company are selling, they're not going to be cheap. I mean, the cheapest pair I have on the table right now were these, and they were $40. So if that just kind of goes to show how expensive some of this stuff can get, especially, you know, the nicer stuff like the fat carbon or titanium that I'm going to buy for the AD 20.5. Like there's some that are just going to be really pricey. Adds a lot to the knife. The knife's already expensive. Buying a custom part's even more expensive. So there is a lot that goes into it. You might not always be happy with what you get. So those are kind of the big bads for me. Aside from that, there's really not much else bad about buying customs. You might be disappointed as one, and you're going to pay a lot. But at the end of the day, you're getting insane amounts of quality. You're getting upgrades most of the time. But you're going to get a product that will definitely take your knife to that next level, that place that's going to make it not want to leave your pocket ever. I mean, when this guy first got his custom scales, I carried it for like a month straight. This guy was definitely my work knife for a while there. This knife I'm still currently carrying a lot, as is this guy. This guy is always being carried because it's one of my favorite knives in my collection. It's probably my favorite Benchmade. But yeah, guys, it's kind of the end of my little video here. This was kind of just me talking and kind of just rambling. I have ADHD, if you can't tell. So, you know, when I talk, sometimes I make points that are a little, you know, off topic, but we'll rope it in every time. But yeah, guys, if you're new to the collecting world, or even if you're not new to the collecting world and you've just never gone to this end of things, try it out. Buy something from OG Goat. Buy something from Lynch Clip. Buy something from the company. Just a little something to spice it up, and you'll realize how much better products can be with a little tweaks, a little enhancements. You know, taking knives that were previously 7s and moving them into 8.5 category. Like knives that were originally maybe a 6, now probably in the 9s, you know. It's just insane what custom parts can do for you and do for your knife. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll try to post a review in the near future. There's a lot of stuff that I still have to review. I'm probably not going to review anything on the table, aside from maybe the smock, just because I've either A, reviewed it, or B, the custom part kind of just changes it into a whole different knife, like the tagged out. But yeah, guys, I'll try to get a review out to you guys. It'll probably be a Spyderco. I have so many Spydercos I need to review, so I'm probably just going to get those out to you. But yeah, have a great rest of your day, and thank you.